All right, hello everybody, and welcome to Geopolitical Trends, where truth matters. Very, 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 very excited to be with you, and I mean it. I don't say things just to be nice. I mean it when I say I'm very excited to be with you guys. And on a good note, I want to let you know that YouTube did allow the monetization of my last video about North Korea because they said it was the copyright, someone, whomever. Anyway, it's resolved. So I submitted the required info that it wasn't copyrighted, and I won't do that. So, and even if it did happen by mistake, it can be remedied. So, anyway, it's fixed. Very excited to be with you. I got an interesting topic to share with you today. Is about what's going on in Argentina, which we haven't heard much about. I wasn't aware of it. I'll admit it. The moment I found out last night, I said, this is going to take precedent. I know last time I mentioned to you guys, I will be talking about Latin America. I was thinking about something else. I was thinking about for example, there is a corridor between Panama. There is about 60-mile a road that connects Colombia into Panama, or Panama into Colombia, whatever. I was going to talk about some aspects of that and how it's tied to immigration, for example, and so forth. But when I found out and I read up about this last night, and I was like, no. The community needs to know about what's going on with all this. And that's very, very important. So this is what I'm going to be talking about Argentina today. So before I'll delve deeper, I put a sort of a survey for you guys in the community. Please take a look at it and vote so I know, so I can plan accordingly. This one has to do with tomorrow. I was thinking of doing a live stream for you guys, just a conversation, no geopolitics. We're going to just have a conversation with the community. So let me know what you think, because this way I know ahead of time so I can plan accordingly. I don't want to waste your time, but I also do not want to waste my time. Usually weekends is where I do housekeeping stuff. I have to keep my place in organized and so forth, and for me just to chill out a little bit. But even with that, I'm still thinking about what do I need to prepare for the community for next week. I'm always like to be far ahead with that. So I'm very please, when you get a chance later on, check out the survey on the community. So let me say hi to my wonderful members of the community here, all of you guys, no exception. Metal Videos, good to have you here. Very, very happy to see you here, guy. Brastus Kibasa, good to see you. Coach Hoy, good to see you. And thank you for your super sticker, the recent one. Thank you so much. Boycott, as always, an avid supporter. I'm very grateful to you, Boycott, and all of you guys for keeping. You guys, I want you to know something, and I mean it. I want you to know you guys, no exception of you are contributing to a conversation we're having in this community, and a lot of people are learning from it. I'm learning from it. So I'm very grateful for all of you guys. No exception. Southside Mike, good to see you. X2, good to see you. All right, who else is here? Po Yang Tzu, good to see you as always. Taiwan Still, good to see you. Winter Jasmine, good to see you. Advent, good to see you. Salam alaikum as well. Here's writing in the dialects right there. Salam alaikum. Dialects. Here's one thing I'll share with you guys. Do you know in the military, where I was in the MI unit, the military intelligence, which was the backbone of the US military, believe it or not. And it's not a classified, I'll share it with you. It was a special program. It's called swaths, where we had to learn how you can write Arabic language using English alphabets. And there are certain ways of how you do that. I'm sure other places do that as well. Chanel, good to see you. Boone, good to see you. Hope you're feeling better. Boone was under the weather per se. Good to see you. Wow, look where you are. You are in Warsaw. Oh, interesting. Make sure you go to downtown Warsaw, where you can see the wall, and the end of the wall is been like when it was hit by a shell from the N word from Germany back then. You all know it because you can't say that word here. So that wall's still there. It's chipped from the top. I saw it myself. So good to see you as always. All right, guys, let me get into the topic here. I think I have a headlines for you. So for today, but I don't have questions because didn't have enough time. But the questions will be basic, guys. Why all of a sudden Argentinians are descending into the street, have been descending into the street? Second thing, why will Argentinians call the president a traitor? Because that is a strong wording. Also, if you know the history of Argentina, it will make more sense to you that the Argentinian people that are mad at their president using the term. So, and the third question is, was it a wrong choice of a president for Argentinian, given not only his ties to World Economic Forum, but also he's being groomed by Washington for that position. So this is what I'm going to be addressing with you today. So before we do this, once again, I want to just let you guys know, and I'll say my thanks later on, that now the Buy Me coffee for my Asia trip has been taken care of, so it's good to go. Now feel free to support that one should you feel like it for the donations for the Asia trip. So I decided to put both of them on a screen here. You have the one for the trip, Asia, it's called Truth Matters. That's how you differentiate that. And the one for the channel, if you want to support the channel, it's called Geopolitical Trends. So you decide whatever you want to support, and I'm greatly appreciative to you for that. So, and I will put it for you guys in the description. For now, I just wanted to let you know that everything is square away with Buy Me Coffee, and I will sort of advocate for using Buy Me Coffee. It's a good platform so far. All right, let's do some headlines around the world, just basic stuff here. So let me get into my talking points. And I'm preparing a video for you guys. It will be a scripted one, a very interesting topic, and I'll give you a heads up on it. Is the idea of what will a Trump presidency will do to the Taiwan issue. So I'm still working on it to compile my own analysis because I have to prepare it for you, short to the point. So I will be doing it as a matter of fact, I might record it today and release it for you for next week. So, okay, where is the headlines? Here's the headlines here. Narrative. Okay, first picture. This is the first picture right here, guys. And by the way, I'm not doing any vid on the other location. I'm just staying here in YouTube today, and that's all. That's all I'm gonna be doing here today. So here's this picture here. This is in Turkey. So what happened in Turkey? Those 7 people were arrested. Why? Because they were suspected of selling information to Mossad, Israeli intelligence. Now, Turkey is notorious for having been infiltrated by the Mossad. So I'm not surprised, but at the same time, for now, they're saying the agency inside Turkey, it's called the Turkey Anadolu Agency. This one has to do with the news. That's the one that reported that from the intelligence service inside. So far, they're saying these individuals you're seeing on the picture are being suspected. So to me, it's fairness. Justice matters. Follow the evidence and give them a fair trial. You can't just because you might have an issue with whatever country and you're going to start doing the wrong thing. Exactly what happened in Pakistan. Can't do that because there's something called justice. And if justice applies to all. So far what this said, as a matter of fact, today, this morning, that's why I wanted to put this for you today. The Turkish authorities arrested 7 people on suspicion of selling information to the Israeli intelligence service Mossad in the states of Istanbul and Izmir. So security sources told Turkey Anadolu Agency that the intelligence service, and I'm quoting, by the way, from the article on Al Jazeera in Arabic language, and I'm translating it so you can understand, learned that the Mossad was tracking its targets in the country through private investigators. Meaning what, guys? Meaning that the Mossad was using private investigators, PI, which is normal. Every country has that. But the PI were working for the Mossad. It's the intelligence aspects of it. That's why that business is very dark, very, 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 very dark. So I want to recommend you be working for that. No, 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 no. It will tear up your soul because of what you will be involved in. It just won't be good. That's my 2 cents on this. As one who worked in Washington, and I was very familiar with the intelligence community. We'll leave it at that. You guys smart enough to read between the lines. Next one has to do with the Iranian president. Now, you all know about the drums of wars being beat up about attacking Iran because of what took place in the U.S. military base in Jordan-Syria border. We'll leave it at that. Even Jordanians and now people are finding out, oh, the Americans are here? Yeah, it doesn't bode well for the Jordanian government, but that's how it is. There are other Arab countries also, they have the presence of Americans. And I used to travel to the whole region of West Asia. I never made it to North Africa as far as work travel. My boss pulled me to the last minute, said, I don't want you to go there. Okay, sir. So anyway, here is what Iran says. Iran says it will not start a war, but it didn't refrain from exposing spies to Mossad in 28 countries. Yeah, 28 countries. So I'm going to share the whole paragraph as is. And I quoted from Al Jazeera that it says, Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi, the one you're looking at the picture there, said on Friday, today, that his country will not start a war, but will respond strongly to tyranny and anyone who tries to bully it, as he puts it, after Tehran announced that it had detected spies for Israeli intelligence services, Mossad, in 28 countries. Raisi added in a televised speech, Iran military power in the region does not pose a threat to any country and so forth. So now, regarding this, and again, as one who worked inside this kind of community and understand how things work, I don't know how much I will buy into what the Iranian president's saying, because it's the reality of it. Now, because the logical question for you to ask is, if the Iranian president were able to say this about 20 other countries, how come they couldn't detect the infiltrator inside their own country? To me, if your intelligence services are so good, you can at least detect what's going on in your home before you pointing fingers. I'm not dismissing this. I'm not saying that doesn't exist. It just doesn't add up. The logical arguments of it doesn't make sense. So you couldn't find out the spies inside your country, but you are able to find out spies in 20 other countries. So, and I'm just playing the devil's advocate by counter-arguing something like this, just for us to think logically, because whatever we read will have to make sense. So when I read it, and I do trust the sources and so forth, but I still have to question that one. So anyway, that's just something for you guys to think about. All right, let us get into our topic of today. Argentina. This is a picture from Buenos Aires. To those who speak Spanish, you will know those are protesters in a nationwide strike by rallying outside Argentina's Congress in Buenos Aires. And that took place on Wednesday, by the way. So here's the background story for those who might not know, is that the workers' union, by the way, is the one leading into all this. But this is not about the workers' union anymore. This is about the whole country that is now finding out, what have we voted for? And again, you don't blame other countries. Let's just be fair and right. It's the voters. The same outcome we have. Look what we voted for. You live by what you vote for. So So, but on the other hand, we cannot shy away from exposing as to what the causes of now this very angry protest in Buenos Aires and across other parts of Argentina, which, by the way, has been kept at a minimum right here in the United States. We don't hear much about it. Why? Because one reason, in my opinion, is because we have groomed the guy for the position. We tend to put sort of, you can use the term puppets, there's no other way around it. We tend to put individuals who will serve US interests. I can say the same now about the guy in Taiwan. I don't shy away. This is why I decided to do a recorded video for you guys. And again, it's a brief analysis. This is not a 10 pages analysis or report, whatever. That's just probably just a short 10-minute video, but it's going to be precise because I will compose that analysis for you to understand. Same argument. Are we seeing the same in Argentina? And many will agree that yes, we are. So because now this demonstrations, it shows sort of the level of discontent in Argentina. It was a great article, by the way. I gotta give credit where credit is due, by Lautaro Greenspan or Greenspan. Sorry if I mispronounce it. So, I wrote a great article about this one. I read it in its entirety. I will put the link for you in the description, and we give credit where credit is due. The same thing for the picture you're looking at, that we give credit to Victor R. Kivano in collaboration with the AP. Those are where the pictures are coming from. So. But before we'll delve deeper into really, because I got some other pictures to share with you and with the details of quotes and so forth. Before we delve into this, it behooves us to at least know a little bit of geography about Argentina and a little bit of history on that. And by the way, I am learning as well, guys. There's a few things I didn't know about Argentina. I was aware of its history here and there, but geography, as far as, yeah, I understand the countries, the borders, but that's not about that. It's understanding the big picture of all this. So I look at this, guys, as a learning process for me as well. Like when I do, probably I will do some topic about Myanmar. I don't know much about Myanmar. That will be an opportunity for me to learn. That is the reason why I share the geography and history for you. And because you also wanted it, you asked that I keep it. So, all right, let's do some geography here briefly. Then we'll move into the history. Then after that, I'll do an analysis for you to the extent what I can talk about. But we're only going to do it here on YouTube this time around. So, let me share screen with you. And by the way, I give credit to World Atlas. That's where I get the map from. Most of the maps that I've been using so far on to share with you are from World Atlas. And we give World Atlas the credit it's due because it's the right thing to do. All right. Let me make the screen bigger for you guys. So you'll see. Here we go. Argentina. Very, very interesting. Did you guys know? Now, here's a question for you. What was the name that was given to Argentina by the rest of the world back in the 70s? There's a saying. It was the same word that was used for Beirut back then. I don't know whether you will know this now. It was just, let's try. So if you know it, just type it on the chat box for us to. And I was aware of it from way back, literally back in the 70s. I was still a kid back then. And I heard it and I was like, wow. Then I had a chance, by the way, guys, I had a chance to, I'm going to stop the screen here, so I'll share it. I had a chance when I was working in Washington to work with some individuals. They were older than me. And one of them was stationed in Buenos Aires back in the 70s. And when I mentioned that to him, he said, you're absolutely correct, David. Same thing happened to another individual I worked with who was stationed in Iran back in 1950s. So Hi, Francis Tango. Good to see you. Rampelance 01, Argentinium, 2 degree, 2 degree. Yeah, this one will not be known much because, it was called Paris of Latin America. That's why is this? Is because how beautiful Buenos Aires was. Hello, Francis. Francis Tango. Hi to you. That's what it was. Because back then it was something else. But when you read about the history of it, you'll see why it changed. It was the same thing was said about Beirut. Back then, Beirut used to be called Paris of the Middle East. Not anymore. Countries have changed. So that was the reason why I wanted to just share that piece of information with you. And I'm going to go into the geography of Argentina. There we go. So, Argentina, one of the largest countries that is occupying in southern part of South America. Very, very. If you, as you see the map there, it's not a very. I can't expand it anymore, but that's how far, how much you can see so far. It is positioned in the western and southern hemispheres of the earth. Argentina shares its borders with 5 main countries. One of them is Chile and the Andes mountain range, to the west, with Bolivia to the northwest, with Paraguay to the north, with Brazil to the northeast, and with Uruguay to the east. Yeah, Paraguay to the north, Brazil to the northeast, and Uruguay to the east. It is also bounded by the South Atlantic Ocean to the east and the Drake Passage to the south. Very, very interesting. I remember when I was in Bolivia, I went to Bolivia, guys. This is the one. You can read it here in Bolivia. And of course, I was in La Paz, which is far away from the border with Argentina. But when I asked the locals there, they told me, yeah, Mr. O, Argentina is on the other side and so forth. But I never get a chance to go to Argentina. I'm hoping to visit one day. And who's to say? I'm going to do this Asia trip as a first experience. If it works out, I'll be happy to go to the other parts of the world to share the knowledge with you from the ground while I'm on the ground over there. So we'll talk about this later on. All right, let me bring the map back because I need to share a few things about the history. History also was very fascinating. I confirmed some because I was aware of some, but I found an article which I will share with you later on in the description. I'll put the whole link. The article was written by Tim Lambert. Very, very, very interesting. I'm assuming, I do not know Tim, but I'm assuming he's a historian. There is no way someone will just write something like this. So it is started, of course, and this according to Tim as well, and I concur with him about his assessments regarding Argentina. Before the Europeans came to Argentina, Argentina wasn't populated. They didn't have much because the landscape wasn't much there either. There were like some few people in the northwest, which they grow some crops like potatoes, like squash, was well known for that. Some others lived in other towns where their economy depends on metal and made pottery. That's why pottery in Latin America is very big. And most of the indigenous people lived in the hunting animals and gathering plants. And they continued their hunt-gatherer lifestyle until the late 19th century. Now, when the Europeans arrived, which, by the way, any idea, guys, which century the Europeans arrived to Argentina? If you know the answer, please type it in the chat box. Once again, we just sharing knowledge here, no more, no less. You are absolutely correct. Caramel crash. And I'm not going to say that word there, but yeah, let me share there. Yeah, you are absolutely correct. There are a lot of those there in Buenos Aires. Yeah, what century? Yes, you're right. You're absolutely correct, Chanel. Between 16th and 17th century. You're absolutely correct. So the historical records indicated specifically that it was in the 16th century. To be exact, in 1516, Juan de Solis, his name is Juan de Solis, reached the River Plate. Now, if you know anything about soccer, the football, European football, there is a team in Argentina called River Plate. That was River Plate and Boca Junior. Those are the best teams in Argentina. So this guy, Juan de Solis, arrived to River Plate, but he was killed by the natives. Then he was followed by Sebastian Cabot, who reached the River Plate area in 1526. Then in 1536, Pedro de Mendoza led an expedition to the area and he built a fort. However, the Spaniards were forced to withdraw by hostile natives. You know, that tells you a lot about the will of the people. If people get together, they have so much power. Here it is. The locals, indigenous, drove out the Spaniards. So, fast forward to 1806, the British captured Buenos Aires. Now, you know why the Falklands War between Argentina and the UK took place. Argentinians never forget. Now, here is a question for you. The Falklands. Who does the Falklands belong to, in your opinion? Just type in that in chat box if you like. So in 1806, the British captured Buenos Aires, but they were forced to withdraw again. In 1807, they attacked the city again, but they were repelled. It shows you the power of the people. So, however, links between Argentina and Spain weakened in the early 19th century, especially after 1808. Why is this? Because who was in power at that time in Europe? Mainly France. Let me see if you guys can type in. Oh, Chris, you say the Falklands belong to British. Okay. So who was at that time in Europe in 1808? Who was at the height of power in Europe at that time? You got it, boycott. It was Napoleon. Absolutely. Absolutely. So 1808, when Napoleon forced the Spanish king to abdicate and made his own brother king of Spain. Finally, on May 25th, 1810, this is according to Tim Lambert article, and I also checked the record on this. They confirmed the same year. The viceroy was deposed and the junta took control of Argentina. However, the junta did not break all links with Spain until 1816. The United Provinces of River Plate was declared on July 9th, 1816. Fast forward to 1835, you have General Juan Manuel de Rosas became a dictator of Argentina. He was a federalist, but ironically, he introduced a strong and repressive central government. However, Rosas eventually alienated many people in the province, and in 1852, a rebellion removed him from power. Once again, guys, the power of people. That's my point. The power of the people. So until the late 19th century, the natives of southern Argentina lived in their traditional way. However, 1879, General Julio Rica led an army to conquer them, and the conquest of the desert was over by 1880. The first railroad in Argentina was built in 1857. It was followed by many others, and by 1900, there were over 10,000 miles of railroad in Argentina, and by 1912, over 20,000 miles. The railways made it much easier to transport produce to the coast for export. Argentina, by the way, export meat, wool, and grain. And by 1900, Argentina was the richest country in Southern or South America. The reason why they export meat, because they have a lot of good meat there. They are known also, and I'm very familiar with this, they're known by the gauchos. That's the name if you ever go to Argentina. When you mention the word gauchos, that's referred to meat eaters there and so forth. And they have a good meat, by the way. So at that time, the population of Argentina boomed, partly due to immigrants from Spain and Italy. They were European migrating to Argentina. By the end of the century, the population of Argentina was about 4 million. Today is about 46, by the way. So in 1920, Argentina was the 7th richest country in the world. However, Argentina, like the rest of the world, was affected by Wall Street crash of what year? What year was the Wall Street crash? Great Depression. Let me see, guys, if you type in that in. Uh, 1929. You're absolutely correct. And by the way, the unemployment here in the US at that time was in a double digit. It was so bad in America. So as I said, 1930, the army staged a coup and General Jose Uriburu became president of Argentina. Uriburu called for an election in 1931. Although a major party, the Radical Party, was banned from taking part. Another election was held in 1937, despite many accusations of electoral fraud. At that time, Roberto Ortiz became president with Ramon Castillo as a vice president. Health issues forced Ortiz to hand over power to Castillo in 1940. However, in 1943, the army staged another coup. My point, this is what you are seeing, the demonstration in Argentina is a reflective of the history of how Argentina is. I am not suggesting that the military will take over, but if things get out of control, I won't be surprised. So fast forward to modern Argentina. Starting in 1944, Argentina severed its diplomatic relations with Germany and Japan. And following March 27, 1945, Argentina declared war on Germany. And of course, after the coup of 1943, Juan Perón gradually emerged as the leader. And in 1946, he was elected president. Perón introduced a number of welfare measures and nationalized industries. So he was re-elected in 1951, but he gradually lost support. Why? Because in 1955, another revolution called the Revolution of Liberation, Liberation Force, or Liberation Revolution, forced him to flee the country. He sought exile elsewhere. So, and between that time till about 1963, you have short governments lived there. And in 1963, Dr. Arturo Illia became president, but the military removed him in 1966. So, and the rest is history, as you know, to today. So Argentina is its history. What's taking place is a reflection of its tumultuous history. Let me say thank you to Wilinski Stoddard. Thank you so much for your super sticker. Truly appreciate it. And for you guys, if you want to do this moving forward, do it on Buy Me Coffee. Let me put it up again. But thank you so much for this. Here's the link for that. The first one is for the Asia trip. The second one is for the support for the channel. So, but I am very grateful to you for your support, Winsky. It's really appreciated. So this is what's going on with Argentina. And now I'm going to provide you my own insights about what's going on with these demonstrations. But I needed you to know and understand the historical aspects of how Argentina came to be and a reflection of what's going on today. Of course, I don't see the military taking over yet, should things get so bad. But things are getting bad in Argentina. If you only guys know, can you guess? Here's a question for you. You can type it on Google, whatever. Can you guess the inflation in Argentina? What level did it reach just about a year and a half or 2 years ago? Just type in that in the chat box when you get a chance. So as I said, leaders from Argentina's largest labor union say that we need an end to what's going on with this government reform stuff. Why is that? It's because Milei is embarking on some radical economic and political reform. And what he's calling that, this is what the let me share the picture with you guys. This guy, Milei, that's the one. What he's saying is, this is and it's a term that I've heard it before. Usually they use it in the economic terms. Shock therapy. He's an economist by training. By training. Now, I don't know how good of an economist he is. I can't pass judgment on the guy because I don't know. But the policies he's embarking on are turning Argentina upside down. Why? Because he had to cut on certain social services that people in Argentina depends on. He also wanted to introduce dollars into the economy. Argentinians want to get away from the dollar. He's bringing the dollars. And this is why he went ahead and devalue the pesos, Argentina currency. So this is why you have the thousands and thousands of demonstrators. Let me show you the images here. And I will share them. I didn't see this on any mainstream media here. I just didn't. So this is why you have thousands of protesters swamped now the square. That area is called Square in Buenos Aires, which is near Argentinian Congress, denouncing Milei's plans. Those are to his argument to overhaul the government, privatize public industries, and slash spending. I don't think so. Argentinians will tolerate that. And that's exactly what they're doing. Here is another picture I'm going to show you here because I looked into some. This one here, this image, guys, this one is some people are banging. Not this one. I think it's this one, right? Yeah, right there. Did you see that pot in his hand? That's what some people are doing. So they banged the pots and carried out signs accusing Milei of being a traitor, in quote, because that's how they. So, and they had the same people brought some other banners featuring the portrait of working class icon. You know who she is? Evita Peron, or who he is? Evita Peron. So, another picture. I need to show it to you. Alicia Pereira. This is a female. Let me share the picture. Yeah, she's the one right here. She's 63 years old. Says her life has been turned upside down since Javier Milei inauguration. So it just shows you because they depend a lot on the social setting. But again, we groomed him in a way, excuse me, in a way to further deteriorate Argentina's economy because the debt Argentina in. Let me go back and see if you guys typed in the percentage of inflation in Argentina. Based on what I read, about 204%. That's what I read. Argentina was dealing also with IMF loans. We went ahead and approved an extension of the loan. I was aware of the first time Argentina got a loan from IMF back in the 80s. Here's the thing. In the 80s, Argentinians today still have not paid off the loan they received from IMF. Why? Because the interest is going up, and the kind of so far the last record I read was about $42 billion in debt. That's just the loan from IMF. We're not talking about the national debts and all that. This is just from the loan in IMF. Why? It's because IMF loans tends to sink in countries' economies. Why? Because IMF will request certain changes you have to make to your economy before you get the loan. The same thing happened to Pakistan. The same thing happened to Egypt. And this is why you see, and here is the big picture of all this. Why do you think China went ahead and extended an invitation to Argentina? And it was China, as a matter of fact, that extended the invitation. And Argentina's president back then, Rodriguez, agreed. But the moment Milei took over, first order of business, what was it? What was his first order of business, guys? Can you type it? His first order of business. I know it takes a while for it to show up. Yeah. Stop joining BRICS. You're absolutely correct, Boone. We are not joining BRICS. And the reason they don't want to join BRICS, because Argentina's this guy or the government. I won't say the government. Let me back this up, because I can collectively say this guy. That's all I'm going to say. Whether we can use the term government or just keep talking about this guy specifically. Well, the way I say it is this guy specifically. This one, Milei, right here. Because again, he's been groomed. I was aware of his trip to the White House, which didn't make much noise here in the US till after he left. We gave him the marching orders. And what happened at that time between Argentina and China? China was getting involved in some projects in Argentina because Argentina requested that. Of course, China wasn't going to do that for free. There is no such thing as free. It's business transaction. Simple as that. This is why some people get upset sometimes when you do a commercial or advertisement for a company. It's a business decision. I've done it before, and I'm sure you guys understand. A company approach you and say, hey, Dr. O, we'd like you to do an advertisement for this. Of course, we will pay for it. It's a business decision. Remember, I gave up my teaching stuff and all that to do this. So you're going to have to figure out the financial aspects of it as well, because it's common sense. If I were a millionaire, whatever, that's a different story. But that's what happened with Argentina. So China started to get involved in some projects. We start to looking at it as China's expansion in the southern hemisphere. Because here is the thing that I need you to understand, or a question for you. Is the Monroe Doctrine dead? What do you guys think? Do you think, in your opinion, for those, I'm sure you guys are familiar with Monroe Doctrine. If not, if someone of you guys can just put it in chat box what it is for others to know. But my question to you, in your opinion, do you think Monroe Doctrine, is Monroe Doctrine dead? So, and some have said, yes, it is. Others are saying, no, it is not. And to me, the what's going on in Argentina is a reflection of how the Monroe Doctrine still alive today. So basically, we do not want any other power to come to the southern hemisphere and mess around with our backyard. Well, wait a minute. Who says that is our backyard? Those countries are sovereign states. They can decide what they want. And if even we go with the argument that is our backyard, who gives us the rights to go to other countries' backyards and do whatever we want? It just doesn't make any sense. But that's what was at the heart of it. We started to see Argentina's economy moving in a different direction than what we want. And mind you, Brazil and Argentina had a conversation about creating a common currency called El Sur. Because what does Brazil and Argentina have in common? Can you guys type in? What do they have in common from an economic perspective? What do they have in common? Oh, Hong Twa, good to see you. I haven't seen you for a while, man. Good to see you. What does Argentina and Brazil have in common? Beside beef. Yeah, you're right, Phil, but beside that, economically speaking, they have oil, energy, and so forth. But they are also one of the major economy in Latin America, beside the third country, which is the third country, one of the good one. There are only 3 countries that matters in Latin America, economically speaking. We mentioned 2, Brazil and Argentina. Which is the third country? Can you guys guess? Chile? No. A good try, Crash. Caramel Crash? No, not Venezuela. No. Good guess. Armando Maguji, you got it. Is Mexico. So you think about it. Mexico, Argentina, and Brazil. If they combine their economies and move different directions, this is why we threatened Mexico to send military if they join BRICS. Who the heck is in a right mind will do this? It's their sovereign country. They can do whatever. So, and this is where this issue with Argentina, you have to understand it from that context. We didn't want Argentina to move in opposite directions. That's why we sank it in IMF loans. Argentinians didn't want the loan, is the government. So, and this is why now you are seeing these demonstrations in Argentina, massive one that is going on. So, and the idea of Argentina, it's because again, it's triple digits inflation. And here is the hard truth about all this. Since Milei took over, okay, in December 10th, that's when he took over, Argentina has already been suffering from a triple digit inflation. So his changes to the structure of the economy, it's only going to make it worse. And that's why I said last time, the last stats that I looked at, because I remember guys, I did a video about Milei back then when he considered running whatever. And I check out the record there. There is a video I did about it. And the argument that I was making that their inflation back then in 2023 reached 211.4% exactly. And I have the record for it or the reference for it, and I will share the link with you. And this surpassed Venezuela. You know the conditions of the economy in Venezuela with the sanctions we have. And this is why Argentinians were kind of shocked, because now they're going back to the 1990s inflation. Because in the 1990s, Argentina had the highest hike in inflation. Very, very, very bad, due to 2 things. loans from IMF, and of course the control of the economy of Argentina by appointing our own people. Let me use the term. One last picture I need to share with you here that I need to show you is this one right here. Yeah, right there. What you're looking at, thousands of Argentinians those participated nationwide strike. This is not just in Buenos Aires. So that's what you're seeing. And again, what Milei, the president, did, the incompetent president, because to me is incompetent. So, devaluing, you don't devalue currency in a heartbeat like that. Yeah, you call it shock therapy, but do you realize what you're doing to the average people who live on a fixed income? When you do that, this is exactly what's going on in Egypt now. Why? Because Egypt agreed to IMF loans that we just gave them. Of course, we sink in Egypt economy. So this way they won't be able to do this or that. Same thing in Argentina. Except in Argentina is a different, the scope of it is very different. Why? Because it's in Latin America, the southern hemisphere. And of course, with China extending its ventures, economic one, with the likes of Brazil, Argentina, and others, we are not liking it. So others have said maybe it's good that Brazil is not joining BRICS. What do you guys think? What do you think? Is it good that Argentina is not joining BRICS? Meaning it's good for BRICS. What do you guys think? And if you have a choice, which other country would you suggest to replace the expected Argentina? Now Argentina is gone. Let's say you had a choice to nominate a country. Which one would you nominate? If you will be kind and just type in that in the chat box, please. Okay. And again, I'm not gonna get into the article of the omnibus bill, the omnibus bill that Congress is gonna pass in Argentina and all that, because to me it's it's just not gonna serve you well as far as information and so forth. What you need to know is that now when you see people like the retired people carrying signs, let me see if there is one for the retired people. Yeah, right there, retired people carrying signs. Those are handwritten signs denouncing austerity measures. Why is that? Because that's one of the requirements from IMF. The same thing I think IMF did to either Indonesia or Malaysia for when they gave them one of the loans. I don't remember which country, because we asked them, no, I'll take this back. It was Sri Lanka when we asked them to embark on austerity measures. Same thing we did to Pakistan. So, and this is why retirees, because this austerity measures is going to impact them in more ways than one. Why? Because they live on a fixed income. They don't have money to throw away, and they can't afford it. Let me see your answer, guys, on that question that I asked. It was Indonesia, was it? Oh, thank you. Oh, you mean Indonesia to replace Argentina? I see your point. Another one saw army with harmony. You're late. No, you're not. You're okay. You're not. So, Jo, you said Algeria, Turkey, or Chile. Okay, what does Chile has to contribute to the economy of BRICS? Algeria, I can see. Turkey, I can see. But Chile, I'll put a question mark on it. But, you are right in this. You know why? Because geopolitically, it will make more sense to have someone in Latin America part of BRICS, with the assumption that that country does not undermine BRICS like what we have right now inside BRICS. You all know what I'm referring to. So, So Argentina, Indonesia. Farhad, Razavi, I can see that. I can see that Argentina, I'm sorry, Indonesia will get. And frankly, and Indonesia and Malaysia will have a much better contribution to BRICS than some other countries. That's to me make perfect sense. I'm still shocked and surprised why Indonesia didn't make the cut. They didn't make the cut during the last summit of BRICS. And I couldn't find where exactly that why it didn't make the cut was coming from. But that's what BRICS said. So it's hard to. David Raker, Saudis, Saudis, because Saudis, they have to play both sides. There's maneuvering on the Saudi part. Saudis will not come forward. Actually, I will have to say this about all Muslim countries or Arab countries. They are wishy-washy anyway. Look what's going on right now with between Israel and Gaza and so forth. Where are the Muslim countries? So they just talk, nothing but talks. So the suggestions you guys are suggesting make sense. OMC, you mentioned Nigeria, you mentioned Venezuela, Iraq, Syria, Algeria, Libya, Cuba. Those are valid arguments, except that you're going to have to think about what those countries are going to bring to the table. Because here is my always big concern about BRICS. If BRICS open the door wide open, it'll sink from within, because you're going to start having a dead weight. It's the same thing in the EU. And again, no offense to any other country that is a member of the EU. But what are they contributing? That's why the EU, in my opinion, is just a facade. It's just a frame. But it's hollow in the middle. There's nothing there. Take Germany, Italy, France to a degree, and that's it. Or mainly just Germany and France. Italy, it's useless. Now that they decide not to extend their BRI with China, I guess they were pressured. So this is where my concern with BRICS. Because BRICS will have to think about the changes on the global stage geopolitically. And you don't want to undermine your credibility, one, and also to sink yourself with the dead weight. You don't want to do that. You want to bring in countries that will have something to contribute. And by the way, in my opinion, I'm sure they have well-qualified advisors and so forth. BRICS may as well put a clause in its constitution or legislation, whatever you want to call it, that it reserves the right by vote to expel a country if the country ends up being a dead weight. To me, it's only fair. You have a team, okay, and you have some dead weight element that is dragging the team down. What are you going to do? You're going to have a one-time conversation with that individual and say, hey, get it together or out. Simple as that. And BRICS will need to do that, because if they are to play a role on the global landscape, economically and politically, it has to have its ducks in a row. Otherwise, BRICS will always be marked by being nothing but a facade. So they have to show where this is going. And that's, in my opinion, the right approach to it. So now when it comes down to Argentina, they are the supporters of Milei. Of course, you're going to have a supporters. Why is this? The way it works when we support someone to become a president, whatever, we also allocate funds to mobilize the masses. We buy them out also. So the supporters are saying, well, we need to remain, and I quote here, we need to remain optimistic that the firebrand president will make good on his campaign promises. We need to give him a chance. Let's give him a year. And if for a year all of us have to eat beans, then we will eat beans. End of quote. Well, if you are to eat beans a year from today, that means your living standards have not improved. If your living standards have not improved, that means the policies the government is embarking on are a failure. Simple as that. That's the way I see it. That is the way I see it. So. All right, guys, I am gonna open this for some questioning for you. And by the way, I need to express my thanks to Buy Me Coffee. I'm gonna go log in there and say thank you to some of you guys, not the recent ones of you. There is one individual that I would like to really give a shout out to. And this is American Citizen X. Thank you so much for your support. You go by this screen name. I know you are, but I'll use it as is. If you feel like to come forward on the chat box and say you're welcome, then they know who you are. But the reason why I want to extend my thanks, you did both. You became a member of the Geopolitical Trends on Buy Me Coffee, and you also bought me so many cups of tea for my Asia trip. So I'm very grateful to you. I also want to say thank you to Salim Akil, TC Kwan, EDU Utopian, Dennis SE. Thank you so much for your support. Who else? BTY Fan. Thank you so much for buying me so many cups of tea. Jorna, thank you. VA1, thank you. Iromi J, thank you so much. Muna Y, thank you very much. Yeah, so many of you guys. I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful to you. Let me see. Yeah, Cody, thank you. I0887. Where's Cheryl? Thank you so much. Ramsey, thank you so much. Fleury, thank you so much. Daniel NG, thank you so much. ONG Dragon, thank you very much. And from Nuclear Reactions, thank you very much. Truly appreciate it. And Whiskey and Leilak from Rumble, thank you so much. Truly appreciate you guys. There's also another. I have to log in on this and log out of this and log in into another one because there's two separate platforms, as you guys know. Okay, let me Buy Me Coffee. Log in into this. Oh, no, that's not the right email. I don't have that email. I don't use that email. So. And I will take some of your questions, guys. Just make sure, prepare them, please. And by the way, make sure, please, to go to the community and answer that survey question so I know ahead of time so I can plan accordingly. It's because I'm going to drop some other stuff if you guys want to have a live stream tomorrow. So, Drag 88N, I know who he is, but I'll go with the screen name here. Thank you so much for Drag 88N. Buys me coffee every day. And I mean it. And I have the record for it here, guys. Every day. So I'm very, 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 very grateful to you. Same thing goes to I'm TC Kwan. Thank you so much for that. All right, let me take a few questions here. And I'm going to check later on the survey for the question from the community. And once again, guys, I appreciate you for keeping the conversation civil here. Thank you so much. TNT, good to see you. India offers nothing to BRICS. You hit the nail on the head. Sorry, it's the truth. It's the truth, TNT. And again, I know some people get mad at me, and I think some stuff that is happening with my channel, I don't think so is YouTube. I think it's individuals. So I don't know why they have a grudge against me. I have done nothing to them. I don't know why. So if you are listening or watching, please, I'm saying it man to man, kindly, please refrain from that. So you report stuff that is not accurate to YouTube. They try to limit monetization on some of my videos. Why? Why not be kind? Why not be kind? Let kindness be. What goes around comes around. That's just how I see things. And again, that's how I believe, and I forgive. I really forgive them. I don't hold grudges against them. Let me see this one. Bro is war. Can you do a presentation about Haiti? Wow. That is. What do you guys think? Yeah, because we need to. We don't hear much about Haiti, even though the tragedies that's going into Haiti. I have someone on my Twitter account follows me on. She knows about Haiti. I think she's from Haiti. Very, very interesting, and I'll be happy to check on certain information. Yeah, I will look into this, Bryce War. I will. I just sometimes I have certain topics in order. I'll figure out, because you need to know what's going on as things happen. But also something like this, I will give it serious consideration. So thank you so much for your super sticker. Truly appreciate it. All right. Chris, while I'm looking at this, why not answer you first? I have a question. Do you think BRICS or NATO follows international law better? Who has the moral high ground? Well, there are two separate entities. BRICS is not a military entity. It will not be a military entity. And I will hope they will never be a military entity, because that would be a problem. So both of them operating from a different platform. But for NATO, no, NATO is a relic of the past. I did a video entirely about just NATO. NATO, to me, at this time, it doesn't have a mission. It doesn't have a purpose. So what it's doing is creating tensions to justify its purpose. When NATO gets involved in nation building, come on. The whole reason that NATO was established because of the Soviet Union. Well, the Soviet Union ceased to exist. So what is NATO doing here? Yeah. But to answer this one, I will go with the latter. That's the one I will go with. Let me put this for you guys for the link for the channel, but I'm also looking at your questions here. Hillary, please, you haven't done a video about the situation in Sahel region. Funny thing, I just looked into it last night, and I was debating whether to do a recorded video or a live stream, or both. There is something going on in the Sahel, especially with the three countries. You all know the three main ones. They now are planning to leave the ECOWAS, because ECOWAS proved to be a vassal of the West. Those three countries. So I will do that. So because it's worth for you guys to know what is going on. All right, let me go all the way to the top and check quickly here. And once again, guys, please take a look at the survey on the community and let me know today, preferably this afternoon for me, so I can plan accordingly, because I have things to do on the weekend. But if you want the live stream conversation, then I have to rearrange my schedules and so forth, and I'll be happy to do it. Wow, where the hour went. We've been on the air for 1 hour. But I enjoy it with you guys. I truly enjoy conversation with the community. All right. And once again, where is the Francis Tango? You're right. You can end. Yes, it's becoming evidence for me. I'm being punished for speaking the truth, which is sad, very sad affairs. But what you do, you forgive. You always forgive. It does your soul good. Literally. That doesn't mean you're weak. No. No, not at all. Caramel Crash, thank you so much for your super sticker and for your contribution to the conversations on both platforms. I truly appreciate you for that. No. Who is better for UK residents to vote for? Which is crazy would you choose? Oh man, that's a good one. Yeah. What do you guys think? Yeah. Thank you so much for your super sticker. Truly appreciate it. Let me scroll this one down and see if there is one more question before I'll take off. And by the way, Caramel Crash, when you say who is better for UK, as far as who? NATO or BRICS? Please correct me if I'm wrong. Is my assumption right or wrong? So, because I didn't know exactly which one you were referring to. George Calloway, yeah. By the way, I reached out to George Calloway to extend an invitation, if I never received it back from him. The names you guys provide me, I do reach out. Oh, I see, Caramel. Labor or Conservative Party? Wow, it's two faces of the same coin. The same thing we have here, Republicans and Democrats. The same thing. I mean, the British people have to think of the party that will serve their interests. There are some from England that I receive comments from, and they're telling me about where inflation is, where things are headed in the UK. Oh, and yes, the UK, the Prime Minister now, the incompetent Sunak, is sending more money to Ukraine. I mean, come on. So, yeah, they're going to have to decide what they want. And only them can decide. The same argument we can make about Argentina. Well, Argentinians voted for the guy. You live with the consequences. Same thing for us. Some of us voted for the guy we have right now. We live with the consequences of it. So that's where I see. Oh, Harry, good to see you, Harry. Haven't seen you for a while. Hope all is well. George Calloway, yes, I will. I will extend another invitation. Same with Richard Midhurst. Yeah, I reached out. Maybe my emails goes into their spam box. Yeah, because I'm not in their contacts. So if you are a subscriber to their channels, put a comment there and say, hey, would you like to have a conversation with Dr. O? He will be happy to invite you on his channel. I'll be happy to do it. I'll be happy to go on their channel. So we reciprocate. That's the, and all this to have very an honest and open conversation for you guys. That's all it is. I'll be happy to do it. As a matter of fact, there's someone now reached out to me on my LinkedIn account, wants me to come on his show. So I'm going to look it up. And of course, it has to be a channel that I deal with the issues. If I am to go on a channel that it's not my background, that doesn't make sense. Rand Paul, Phil, doesn't go. I already checked into this. Rand Paul will not go on shows. Now, if you see him on a show, that means somebody who's truly behind the scenes knows him close. I don't know him. I know of him. But of course, we'd love to have him. But it's unlikely because I already looked into that. I looked into it. So, okay, I'll do one more. And that's it. Ben Norton. I know he is in China doing his PhD. And I intend to reach out to him as well and see. Last time, one of you guys sent me the name for him and for what's her name. She has a channel, Lee, L-L-L-L-I. I can't pronounce the last name. She's a journalist. So if I end up in that part of the world, I'm going to reach out to her and maybe have a conversation. She speaks fluent English, and I'll be happy to do that. So, all right, guys, Well, I hope you find this very informative. Once again, don't forget to support the channel. There's the links on your screen right there for both. The first link is for the Asia trip. The second link is for the channel. And for tomorrow, please check out the survey on the community tab. I posted there for you, yes or no. If I see the percentage of yes, that means we'll do a live stream, and it will be open conversation like this. That's all. I won't be talking geopolitics, guys. No, it will be conversation for us. Simple as that. So if you are interested and would like to have this, we'll do it tomorrow. As always, remember, geopolitics impact your daily life in more ways than one. Till next time, guys. Bye-bye.